Hey there, Tim Whalen from Whalen Jazz Lessons. Today I'm going to talk about how to harmonize a melody. This is a real essential skill as a jazz pianist. It's also a great thing to work on if you're not a pianist and you want to get a little deeper into the piano. This is a foundational type video, but it's super important and it really can help set the stage for when you want to get more complicated with your harmony. So let's dig in. I'm going to use the first 8 bars of Duke Ellington's Prelude to a Kiss. What I'm talking about here is over standard type tunes. This is for melodies that are a little more simple, a little more length of harmonic rhythm. You know, you're not going to do this over Donna Lee. I mean, you could, but that would take a lot of crazy technique, and that's not what this is about. This video is also not necessarily about harmony, so to speak, because there's so much stuff with harmony we could do. This is about how to voice a melody, okay? Now, when we talk about voicing a melody, if you were to look at a lead sheet, you know, these simple chord changes, somewhere along the way, people were taught that you play a voicing in your left hand and a melody note in your right hand, which is fine, but there's a real important skill of being able to play chords under melody notes. That's what this is about. Now, if I were to play this just as it's written with root position 7th chords, it would sound pretty awful. This is terrible. I can't do anymore. Like Fred Hirsch once said, you know, one of the worst sounds ever in music is that C dominant 7 root position chord. And he's right. And I think he said that was the second worst, and that's the third worst, okay? So this video is gonna help you try to get away from this idea of playing just voicings and then single notes in your right hand. There's a better way to do this. So let's take it through. It's going to involve thirds and sevenths and just adding a note to thirds and sevenths. Pretty simple. The first thing you want to do though when you're learning a tune is just work on the melody. Just play the melody by itself. So I'm going to go through the whole melody here of Prelude to a Kiss, the first 8 bars, and we'll go from there. Okay, there's the melody. If you have that down, the place next to go is you want to add the bass notes. So what we're setting up here is a framework. If we look at our hands here, there we go. We're setting up a framework where the top note melody is on the upper parts of your right hand and the bass notes are on the lower part of your left hand. We're setting up basically a shell, okay, that we're going to fill in. All right, that's what we're doing here. So let's play the melody with only the roots, and then we'll talk about what we do with the melody. If you notice on this one, I have the numbers underneath each melody note. Those are the numbers, the scale degrees and extension degrees as related to each chord change. This is essential to do. You could go through lead sheets and just do this. Just play roots and then analyze what the melody note is in relation to the root of the chord. I'm going to do that here now, okay? So we got start on the D7, 13, flat 13, 9, flat 9, 5, 13, major 7. 1, 2, 13, flat 13, 9, flat 9, 5, flat 13, 1. 11, 1, 1, flat 2. Then we got flat 3, 11, 13. 1, 2, flat 3, flat 9, flat 9, 13, 11, 1. So even though I kept the note the same in that last measure, what it is in relation to the chord changes, okay? I just want to interrupt quickly and let you know that if you haven't downloaded my free resource, Jazz Warmups and Etudes, go ahead and do that now. It's a set of 4 etudes based on chord progressions to tune up the blues, autumn leaves, and rhythm changes. It's filled with ideas from transcriptions I've done over the years of so many masters. This will really help elevate your playing on so many levels, and it's completely free. Check the link below, and let's get back to the video. Okay, this is the real important step, and you can do this with any tune like this. Single bass note in the left hand, and then 3rd and 7th is under the melody note in the right hand. You're either going to have 2 notes or 3 notes. If the melody is a 3rd or a 7th, you're just going to have the 7th or 3rd underneath it. Okay? Remember, only 3rds and 7ths. If the melody note is not a 3rd or a 7th, you'll have 3 and 7 under the melody notes. You're going to have 3 notes. Okay? So I'm going to take this through just what we did with the numbers, but now I'm going to kind of show how this progresses, okay? So the first one here we have, there's that B, all right? That's the 13. It's not a 3rd or a 7th, okay? So you now have to figure out what the 3rd and 7th is of D7. 3rd is F sharp, 7th is C. So now we have a D13 voicing. 13's on the top. Now we got that flat 13. Now we've got this, again here, the thing that's important to do is start with the top melody note and then fill in underneath it, okay? Maybe find the 3rd first. The 3rd of G7 is B, the flat 7 is F. C7. Is that melody note the 3rd or 7th? No, it's the 5th. Find the 3rd and 7th. Okay, now we get to the F major. That is a 7th. So we're only going to play 1 note underneath it, which would be the 3rd. So hear all that together. I like that better than this. This is way better. It sounds more like jazz. Okay, let's keep going. Now this is the thing you can also look at. There's some compositional stuff going on here. Ellington, we're back at these dominants. He goes back to the 13 for B7. So that's not a 3rd or a 7th. So you got your 3rd and your 7th. Get to the 9. Start looking at the bass note. 3rd, 7th. There's your flat 9. A7, that 5th, not a 3rd or 7th. So you got to have 2 notes. And you got your root. D minor 7, so you need your 3rd and your 7th. So what this also does is it forces you to know your 3rds and 7ths in all inversions. I have a video that I made. I actually think it's my most popular video I've ever made on YouTube. It's all about learning 3rds and 7ths. There's a free PDF with it where you can learn the 3rds and 7ths in all keys for the basic chord qualities. Link is down below. It's also up on top. It's super important. This is very important, okay? We got, okay, back to measure 4, A7, D minor 7. Okay, now we've got our G on the top. Is that the 3rd of D minor 7? No, the 3rd is F, so we've got to have 2 notes underneath here. There's your 3rd, There's your 7th. Here's the thing to keep in mind too. You see how that voicing is kind of closed? Remember, you can spread your voicings out if you need to. You could do that. If you don't want to have that rub, you can always spread notes into one hand like that. Most people can reach a 9th like that. So get that skill under your hand too. I'll stick with the closed one for now. That's the root of G7. We need our 3rd, 7th. Here's the root of G sharp diminished. Okay, so diminished, what's the 7th and 3rd of diminished? Okay, this is why it still works with this. There's your 3rd. Now in diminished, we have a double flatted 7th, or the 6th. There it is. Sounds diminished to me. A minor 7, that C is the 3rd. So we're only going to have the 7th underneath it. Look familiar? That's our 13, first chord of the tune. And then we've got, again, a root note on the D. We've seen that voicing before. Flat 9 of G7 is not the root, so we need to have 2 other notes. So there it is. I'll play the whole thing. Now, one last thing we can do is add one color note. Remember, we're not trying to become Bill Evans here. We're just trying to get comfortable with this skill. So I don't want to give you a whole bunch of things to do. Yes, we could spread it into 2 hands. We can do drop 2. We can do the Fred Hirsch method where you don't double any notes. But that's a more advanced thing. I even think adding a color note might be pretty advanced, but it's worth showing, okay? So the basic rules is we're either going to add 5 or 9 or 9 or 13. We won't even deal with the 11 right now. So on major and minor chords, we're going to add 5 or 9. On the dominant chords, we're going to add 9 or 13. 5 is also possible. The 13 is nice because it's a color note, and it's a little more interesting than just the 5th. We can do a flat 9 or flat 13 going to minor chords or major chords, but that's a nice thing. And on the diminished, we'll add a flat 5. 9 or 11 can be added, but for the most part, we'll add the flat 5. And on half diminished, but there's no half diminished chords on this tune. So let's try this. We're going to add, I'm going to do what we just did, take it through, and then I'll talk about what notes I'm going to add, and then I'll play it all the way through so you can hear it. We have, so what I'm going to do, if I see this, I can add a 9 or a 5 to this, so I'm going to add the 9. It already gives it some color. Then we're on this G, so I'm going to add a 13, and I'm going to flat the 13. Nice, right? And then I'm going to add the 9 to C7, gives me the 13 there, and then I add the 5 to the F major 7. So I've got a 13 on this, so I'm going to add the 9. So add a 13 here, and then flat the 13. Add the 9 to the A7. When I go to the flat 13, flat 9, and then I'll add the 5th. You could also add the 9. That's a cool sound. I just did the 5th because I felt like it. Here we've got, that's our D minor 7. Let's add the 9. There's our 13 of G7. Then we've got flat 5 to the G sharp diminished. Add the 5th. Add that 9 again. Flat 13. We've got our 13 there because we have the 7th and the 3rd, and let's add the 9. And then this one, add the 9, add the flat 13. So I'm going quick because this is a deeper lesson. I'm just trying to get you to hear the sounds. Okay, let me play the whole thing now just so you can hear it. So go find some standard tunes. There's countless tunes. Ellington, Cole Porter, Gershwin. There's so many you can find. Just try to find tunes that have more simple melodies, which many of them do, and just try this. And it will really, I think, open up a whole new avenue of how to play harmony. If you listen to the great players, they all know how to do this. So that's why I'm showing this to you. I hope this was helpful, and I look forward to seeing you soon. Happy practicing.